Hi there. Have you ever taken an online course that literally put you to sleep? I'm not joking. It really happens. And admit it, I bet you this has happened to you too. Whether you've taken an online course that was part of your job and you had to do it as part of your employee education, or maybe you took an online course that you purchased because you were trying to learn something new for your own personal or professional development. There are certain things that make an online course really good and interesting and engaging and effective, and there are other things that turn it into a snooze fest, right? It really will put you to sleep. So, as an e-learning developer, I'm always on the quest, not just to design courses that will not put my audience to sleep, but to really bring it to that next level and make sure that the course is engaging and exciting for people. So, you've probably never heard of the term just-in-case learning. Just-in-case learning does exist, especially when it comes to employee training in the workplace. Just-in-case learning really sucks. This is when they say to you, we're going to force you to learn something just in case you might one day need this information, or maybe you won't need it or use it, but we're going to get you to learn it anyway. So here's something to bring it home. Have you ever seen that kids movie Inside Out? The one with all the emotions living in the kid's head. There's joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. It's so adorable. I've watched it many times because I have 3 little girls at home, and it's a totally brilliant movie. But in this movie, they introduce the idea of the memory dump. And this is absolutely true because the human brain has a filing system that can only hold so much information, and information that it can access at any time. Information that's deemed unnecessary gets flushed down into the memory dump. And this is exactly what happens when someone is forced to learn something or consume educational content when they don't need the information. Here's the truth. People learn best when they actually need the information or the skill. So how can we build better training and education to embrace this truth? Well, there's a couple of concepts that I'm going to focus on today. Here are some industry terms when it comes to online education. You might have heard of the terms just-in-time training, which is a real thing, much better than just-in-case learning, and another term called microlearning. Let's have a closer look at each one of these concepts. So just-in-time learning is training that is provided and consumed just before the learner needs to apply the skills. This can be done through online learning, e-learning, coaching, or even classroom training. But my vote is for e-learning because e-learning holds a higher degree of effectiveness when it comes to just-in-time training. The mere fact that it can be accessed and deployed anytime, anywhere. So if you've ever been involved with the logistics of trying to organize classroom training for a big audience, then you will really appreciate this. It is so hard to do that logistical creation of the, who's going to be there, setting up the rooms, all of that. All of these things are eliminated when it comes to e-learning because people can access the training anytime, anywhere. And this gives our brains the ability to access the information when we need it, just before we're going to apply the skills. But just-in-time learning doesn't necessarily work if there's so much information crammed in that it overwhelms the brain. So this is where you want to make sure when you're building your learning content that you're breaking it down into digestible pieces. We call this chunking. And a very effective method of chunking your content in e-learning is called microlearning. So our next concept is microlearning. And microlearning is training that is focused on just one thing. It could even be for a single learning objective. So a good microlearning allows you not only to focus on one thing, but it also allows you to tie in this concept of just in time in that you can go and apply the skills or the information immediately as soon as you're done consuming the learning. So there's one more absolutely essential ingredient to make this work, and that's the access to the training. How is your learning content hosted and deployed? Have you locked so that your learner is forced to go through the content in a specific order, or do you have open navigation so they can go move around and get the information that they need when they need it? Can they easily get back into the education? Let's say they're about to try the skill, maybe they're out on the job. Can they get back to that education easily so that they can review it quickly before they do the task? So have you made it easy for your audience to get what they need when they need it? One thing that I hear over and over again from course creators, especially entrepreneurs who are creating online courses to sell, is nobody's finishing my courses. Oh, and I feel for you. I mean, I know you worked really hard and you know, your blood, sweat, and tears, you poured it all in to your online course. But my response to nobody is finishing my courses sometimes is, who cares? It doesn't matter if your learner has consumed every single little bit of education that you've created for them. Instead of looking at the percentage of completion, you should be asking your learners questions like, did you get what you needed? Did the training answer your questions? Were you able to apply the skills and knowledge right away? And what results have you seen since taking the training? Okay, these are much more important questions than what is the percentage of completion? Did they do it all? Okay, the best gift that you can give to your learners is to give them the information that they need the most when they actually need it. So, I mean, I dream of a day when we live like they did in the Matrix when it comes to consuming educational content. I mean, remember, Keanu Reeves essentially, sticking the chip back there and just, I want to learn how to fly a helicopter, and boom, you've got it. But we're a long ways away from that. But my challenge to you is, what can you do now to create learning that allows your audience and your learners to get what they need when they need it? So what about you? I'd love to hear your ideas. What are you doing with your education so that to create it in a way that the learners can get the information that they need and the education when they need it? Pop your ideas into the comments. I would love to hear your ideas. And thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you again next Tuesday. Have a great day.